Today is going to be an easy day to get back from vacation. Are you ready? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and I'm just getting back from vacation and getting back to our Falling for Autumn quilt. So our sponsor for this project is Daylily Fabric Shop, and if you haven't jumped in yet, I just want to remind you there's plenty of time. We've only done section 1 so far, and we're working at a very comfortable pace. You can definitely catch up. So if you haven't already, join in. Here's a link from Daylily Fabric up to be able to get all the supplies needed for the project, and you can see in past videos where I've talked about what items that you need for the project. So let's go ahead and see what we've done so far. So we have had so much fun with this project. So we already have our velveteen pumpkins, so cute. My favorite, the sweaters. Oh my gosh, those are so darn cute. I love those. And then we did our pieced star block, and a bunch of us added in an extra element into the center that was completely optional. And then we did our Autumn is my favorite color block. This is a huge one. That was an easy block. It just took a little bit of time because there was applique. And then we also have our, if you did both of them. So we did the piece star block, and if you did it, both of them, then we have that for the future. That one's ahead of the game. And then the last block that we did is that good books block. This one was fun. This was a stretch exercise for all of us, and I got a bunch of messages from people saying that they really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people did this block before I did the tutorial, so you didn't get to do the add-on, but we can do some more coming next. Don't worry. So for now, we added in different book names, book titles on the spines of the books, and it was just a really fun stretch exercise. There was a lot to this one as far as different things that we could do and how to do different things. I really enjoyed this one. This one was fun. So that's our section 2. That's the start of our section 2, right? No, also the Autumn is my favorite color. That's also section 2. So we have more blocks for section 2, but I'm going to take a little break today and do an easy one, and we're going to work on the filler blocks, the section 2 specific filler blocks. All right. So the filler blocks, let's just go over what we need for today. If you made your packets, you may already have a section 2 packet. The section 2 fillers you can see are on page 55 of our book. So I'm just going to pull these out and we'll go over everything that we need. There are, I think, like 4 of them, but one of them is parts of it. So I'll go over all of that. So let's go ahead and go over these. So the first one is a 2x4. The quilting design is going to be 2x4. So that means that your fabric should be 3x5. So if you remember in the prep video, I recommend cutting your filler blocks a little bit larger. That's my recommendation. I highly recommend it, but it's not absolutely necessary. So in the directions, it will probably say 2.5 by 4.5, but I recommended 3x5, and you can see that my batting is the same size, 3x5. So even if you didn't cut your filler block fabric larger, you still want your batting to be 3x5. All right, 3x5, and then I recommend cutting the filler block the same size. So what that does is when we do all the quilting, we've got that placement and tack down of our main fabric, and it will actually tack down. So otherwise you're using tape, and that's totally fine, but to me it's easier to have it tack it down, and then we can just trim it to the correct size afterwards. So I think that that's a lot easier in my opinion, and there's always plenty of fabric with those Kimberbell kits. So so that's my recommendation. So 3x5, this is for filler block number 1, and our quilting design is a 2x4. Let's see, did I write down the quilting design? All right, sorry about that. So this first one, we're going to use Weave 2 quilting design. That's in our bundle for the Falling for Autumn designs, the quilting designs. And we're going to use it in a 2x4 in the vertical design. 2x4 vertical Weave 2. And this is for the first filler block for section 2. All right. And then the next one, let's see, is going to be, let me see, sorry, number 2 is this yellow one. So the yellow one for number 2. So this one is directional. You can see it's the same size, so it's not going to matter. It's just going to matter how you lay down your fabric. So we'll get to that point there. And again, you can do it your way, however you want. So on this one, it is a 4x4. So that means I recommend cutting the fabric to 5x5, okay? Because our quilting design is going to be 4x4. So I recommend 5x5 for your fabric and for your batting, all right? Don't for both of them. I already went over why. I did, by the way, back my filler blocks with Fusible stabilizer. That's optional. I like to do that. So 5x5, this is for number 2 of our, let's see, number 2, yep, for section 2 filler block, and we're going to use Fruit 5 in a 4x4 horizontal design for this one. 4x4 Fruit 5 in horizontal for this number 2 block. All right, and then number 3 block is the green, and my pieces here, my green, it's actually, I think it's white with green outline. I don't know how you describe that, but it's got the shape to it. And this one is number 3, and this one also is going to be a 4x4 so of the quilting design. So my recommendation is the fabric and the batting to be at 5x5. All right, fabric and batting at 5x5 for number 3. And for the quilting design, we're going to use Hobby 7 in a 4x4. Hobby 7 in a 4x4. All right, that's for number 3. And then I think this last one, yep, this last one is just that one that we're going to piece all together. So we're going to piece it together first, and then we will quilt it. So let me just tell you real quick the pieces of it. So there, I think these are in order, hopefully. Yep, it looks like it. All right, so these are 5 different pieces. They're all 2.5 by 2.5. It helps if I show you, I've got them down here. Sorry about that. All right, so these 5 pieces. So it's going to be this chocolate brown silky solid first, and then the green silky solid, and then the orange silky solid, and the yellow with the lines on it. So that one will be a directional one. And then it's like a violet colored silky solid. All right, so these 5, now these are 2.5 by 2.5, and keep them that way. Okay, think about if you did them in 3x3 like I normally would recommend, it's going to be bigger, and you're only going to cut off the edges, so they won't be all the same size. So this one we will use the other technique where we put it down, we'll tape it in place if necessary. The batting may hold it well enough, we'll see, but we're going to put that down, and then we'll quilt over the top without it tacking down. There won't be enough room to tack it down, but we will sew these together first, and then we will quilt them. So we do need batting for this. Like I said, 2.5 by 2.5 for each of these 5 pieces. Okay, and I did back mine with Fusible stabilizer. That's optional. So then your batting, let me see, what did I recommend? 3x11. So it's a 2x10 quilting design. So you want your batting to be 3x11. 3x11 for your batting. All right. And then the quilting design that we're going to use for this one, where is it? Weave 2. Weave 2 in a 2x10 vertical design. Weave 2 in a 2x10 vertical design. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about these blocks and I'm thinking we might need to do something a little fun. I thought it was going to be a super easy day, and it will still be easy, but look at this big yellow block. Look at that. I feel like there should be something on it, don't you think? So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to bring it over to my computer, and I'm thinking that we might dress this up just a tiny bit. I don't like to do it on the busier blocks, but even this one is not very busy. It's a little bit busy, so you could choose to leave it alone or not. Totally up to you. Same thing with this one. This one's more busy to me. I think I'll probably leave it alone. But on the ones that are like a solid color or pretty close to a solid color, this one I think I need to add something to it. Totally optional, but I'll tell you what I decide, and you can choose to do that or not. Totally up to you. So I'm going to get these 4, I think it was 4 filler blocks into one hooping, and I'm certain that they will fit just fine depending on your hoop size. So I'm thinking a 9x14 will fit all of these just fine. If you have an 8x12, you probably can do it. It will be tight though. If your fabric is exactly the size listed in the book, you'll have more room in your hoop. Otherwise, you have like a 1/2 inch. That's all I recommended, is cutting them a 1/2 inch larger. So you're really not going to have it be a concern for the extra space, but a 9x14, these should fit just fine. So let's go ahead and go over to the computer, and I'll show you in software how to merge them together, how to maybe add something different if you want to. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now, and I'm going to show you quickly how to merge the 5 different filler blocks, actually 4 different filler blocks for section 2 together. And then I've also decided, I did a little shopping and I found a couple designs that I'm going to add to my filler blocks, to 2 of them, if you choose to do that as well, completely optional. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Embrilliance Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I use and enjoy. And you can see down here at the bottom, it'll tell you the hoop size that you open up to. And I am on my 9x14 hoop, which actually that's what I know will work. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. If you're not on the hoop size that you want, go to this Preferences folder, click on that, and then click on the hoop size that you want and say OK. And then I like to click on this compass button and click on H just to make sure it zooms into the hoop so that I can see everything. All right, so we have 4 blocks. Now, just a reminder, these 5 pieces we'll need to sew together before we quilt them. But for now, we're just going to set up the quilting. All right, so I'm going to start. I think I'll bring in the biggest one. That will be the easiest to start with the bigger ones. Keep in mind that whatever you bring in first is what we'll stitch first, so you need to know which fabrics go with which blocks and which quilting goes. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to do the biggest just to get that out of the way, which will be that big 2x10. So I'm going to click on this Merge Stitch File button. And that 2x10, we want weave 2. So I'm going to, there's weave 2. I use Pez. Yeah, all right, so 2x10, weave 2, and we want a vertical. So 2x10, weave 2, vertical right there. Double click on that. And then I'm just going to click on it, and I'm going to use my arrow key to move it over to the left of the hoop, making sure not to go over that hoop. I'm also going to bring it down, actually. I think I might need that space up top, so we'll see. All right, so that one is done. We've got all those default blues and oranges. Why don't we go ahead and change them now so that it's less boring to do 4 at once. So I'm going to click on this first one, and I'm going to click on the color. I'm on 1-1 and click on the color, and I want to change it to the first color that comes up for me, which is dark aqua. And we want to do this on all of them so that they'll join together, so that we're not pulling the hoop in and out and we're all at once putting down our fabrics, putting down our batting, doing our trimming. It just makes the process a lot easier. So then 1-2, click on the color, and the first one that comes up for me is Blaze. Say OK. Whatever first color comes up for you will work fine. All right, I'm on 1-3, click on the color, and notice I'm on Filtech Glide. That's why these colors come up for me. That's my preferred, and you can set that in preferences. I think also here at the preferred, maybe that just tells you what your preferred is, and you have to go up to this preferences. I set this all up a while ago. So whatever your second color is, we use dark aqua, so I'm going to go down to marine and say OK. And then 1-4, click on the color. Second color is Oriole. Say OK. And then 1-5. Now, here's where you want to have them be different, because they're different colored blocks. So you may want different quilting color designs on your blocks. So I'm going to just set them up all differently for now so that I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to click on the color, and the first one that comes up for me is Sprout. All right, so that one's all done. Click outside so that that last item is not selected, and then go to Preferences, or I'm sorry, Merge Stitch File. And the next one, we're going to bring in, let's see, I'm going to bring in the 2 4x4 designs. So the block 2 is that fruit 5. So I'm going to go close up weave 2. There's fruit 5. Embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and I'm looking for a 4x4 in horizontal. All right, 4x4 fruit 5, 4x4 fruit 5 horizontal. Double click on that. Now this is the yellow one. If I recall, number 2 is the yellow one. And oh boy, it's going to be hard to see if they're doing it vertical on the stripes. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So that filler block, there's a picture of it on page 55, and if your eyes are much better than mine, you can see if the stripes on the fabric is going vertical or horizontal. I can't tell. Hopefully, actually, if you look at the bigger picture, so we don't need this information right now. We need it when we are putting down our fabric. And it looks like it's vertical. You can see it a little better on the cover photo. It does look like the fabric is going vertical. So, of course, it's your quilt, your way. You can do it however you want, but if you're going to follow the book, then they've got the stripes going vertically. All right, and the design, the quilting design is going horizontal, just to confuse you completely. All right, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to click on it and bring it all the way down here, and I'm going to keep in mind that this is my number 2, which is the yellow fabric. All right, so we want to go ahead and change these again. And we're on fruit 5 horizontal. So I'm going to click on 2-1, click on the color, and I want to use dark aqua because that's what we used before. You can see it up here. So whatever you used for the first one, you want it to be the same so that those will join and we can do it at the same time. All right, and then 2-2, click on the color. I'm going to choose Blaze as the first color that came up. And then 2-3, click on the color, and I want the second color, which is Marine. And 2-4, click on the color, second color is Oriole. Now remember, we want this to be a different color than that first one so that they don't join. So I'm going to click on the color, and the first one was Sprout that we already used, so I'm going to use Sea Green now and say okay. All right, so that one's done. Click outside of the stitch area or of the workspace so that that last item is not selected. And then we're going to work on number 3, which is that this green one, green and white one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to merge stitch file, and we're looking for hobby 7 now right here. Hobby 7, embroidery files, block by block is the technique we're using, and then Pez for my machine. So whatever one that you use. That can't be right. Is that right? How cute is that? Hobby 7 in a 4x4. Let's scroll down. 4x4 hobby 7. Look at how cute that is. So I have to just point out, look at the 2x2. I wonder if we're going to get to use that at all, because gosh, that's cute. Sorry, I digress. All right, so 4x4 hobby 7 right there. The sweater and the yarn. That is just a really cute quilting design. I'm so impressed with Kimberbell. All right, I'm going to bring this up here for now. We have to bring in that last one, so we'll have to see what will fit. So again, we need to change these, and notice that they're all selected. So you have to click somewhere outside the workspace or inside this part. It doesn't matter, but so that nothing is selected. All right, so then 3-1, click on the color, and we want that first color we used, which for me was dark aqua. And then 3-2, click on the color, Blaze is the first one. And 3-3, click on the color, and we want the second color down. For me, that's Marine. 3-4, click on the color, and second color down is Oriole. And then 3-5, we want the third color down now because we already used Sprout and Sea Green. So whatever your third color is, mine is Mint. All right, that's done. Click outside of the workspace, and then we're ready to bring in our fourth one. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and let's see, we want weave 2. Oh, because we already did, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong, so now I want my 2x4. I was thinking we're going to do that 2x10 because that's the order, but I'm doing them in biggest to smallest so that I have to make sure I have room for everything. So we are back to the weave 2, but now we want a 2x4. So I'm going to close up Hobby 7, open up Weave 2, embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, Weave 2, 2x4 in a vertical, right there, Weave 2, 2x4 vertical, double click on that. Now alright, so I'm going to click on this now and I'm going to drag it up here. Now I want to make sure to rotate this just so that it'll fit in my hoop. So to do that, I'm going to click on this rotate left button. It doesn't matter, the design is the same. You can do rotate left or rotate right. And I'm going to bring it up here to where I have a little bit of space. Now you can see that there's not a whole lot of space here, and I don't need a lot, but I need a little. So I'm going to just click on this other design. This is the third design, and I'm just going to bring this down so that I have an ample amount of space between here and between here. This is using my 9x14 hoop, and there's plenty of room for these 4 filler blocks. This works out really well. All right, now what I'd like to do, I want to go ahead and do a color sort now because I don't want the other parts to color sort. I only want my filler blocks to color sort. But I want to be able to align the design that I'm going to bring in with these blocks. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. You've probably seen me do it before. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to File, New Page, creates another tab, and then I'm going to click back on Untitled 1, and I'm going to click from the bottom of these 4 designs and drag up. And I'm going to say Control C to copy. And then I'm going to go to Untitled 2, and I'm going to say Control V to copy those 4 designs. So now I have them on the exact same on both of the tabs. All right, and then this first one, I'm going to bring in the extras. So this is that part that is completely optional. I'm going to bring in a couple of extra designs that I thought were really cute for this quilt specifically. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I found. I'm going to open up a web browser and I am going to go to Stitchtopia. That's where I found some designs. So Stitchtopia.com, and then if you go to shop and then on sale and then to fall, that's where I found the ones that I'm going to use. Okay, so it's on page 5. You can either just type sweater into the search bar, or you can go to fall like I showed and then to page 5. So page 5 has this sweater weather. I think that's super cute, and I'm going to put it on the number 2 filler block, which is right under the sweaters. How cute is that, right? So that's what I'm going to do, and again, totally optional. It's on sale right now, normally $3, on sale for $1.49. So I bought that, and I'm going to add that in. The other one, I believe it was on page 4. This is for the number 3 block, which is this one, and it is next to the chair with, we haven't made that yet, but the chair with the blanket. I am going to put Let's Get Cozy. How cute is that with the little scarf? I thought that was really cute. So I'm going to put that on number 3 block, and again, it's on sale right now. I'm on Stitchtopia.com, and then I went to shop and then fall, and it's on page 4. And there's a lot of cute designs if you want to do something different. So those are the 2 that I'm going to do. It's on number 2 and number 3 block for the filler blocks, and so I'm going to add those in. Now I already bought them, but I haven't unzipped them, so you'll get to see me doing that. For those that haven't done that before, here's the sweater weather. So I'm going to double click on the design and extract it, say extract, and that was quick and easy. I'm on a PC, by the way. Then I'm going to delete the zipped file. This isn't like the fonts where you just grab it and drag it over to the workspace. It's different. We are going to have to open it and choose the file and all of that, but I'm going to go back to my Embrilliance. I'm on tab 1 right now, and I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File, and I'm going to find that sweater weather that I just opened, that I just extracted. Let's see if I close up the falling for autumn. Alright, so it says Stitchtopia sweater weather. I'm going to click on that folder, and I want the 4x4 design right there. I'm going to click on that. And then we just have to center it with the design. So remember, it was this first one, this that I put down here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to click on that design so that I make sure it's number 2, and then I'm going to click the control button and click on number 5 at the same time. And then you could just, you know, eyeball it and figure it out, but the easiest way is to have both of those selected, so that quilting design for number 2, and then the number 5 is that sweater weather design. And I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute, and I'm going to say Center, Center, and say Apply. And then it's just those 2 designs, and notice it moved my block, so I need to move it back in line, which is totally fine because they're both still highlighted. So I can just click on the design, make sure that they're both, when I say both, I mean the quilting design and that sweater weather design, and then I can move it back in place. All right, so that worked out really well, and now I know that they're aligned perfectly. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in the second one, which is that Let's Get Cozy. Look at how cute it'll be on this sweater quilting design. So I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File. Actually, I haven't unzipped that one yet. Let me find that one first. All right, so here's the Let's Get Cozy. I'm going to double click on that, click on Extract. All right, and close these folders. I can delete the file that was zipped. All right, and then I can close that. I'm going to go back to Embrilliance on that first tab, click Merge Stitch File, and then look for that Stitchtopia Let's Get Cozy. And I want the 4-inch. Double click on that. It goes to the center, and I want to make sure it's selected with the quilting design. So I'm going to close up this number 2, and I can just click on that quilting design to remember that it's number 3. So of our designs here, it's the 3rd design, and then I click the control button to be able to get 2 designs together and click that number 6 design. So you can see I have number 3 and number 6 of the design selected, and I can go to Utility, Align and Distribute, and Center, Center, and say Apply. And close it. So then it's centered perfectly within that block. Notice it did move it out of space again, which actually doesn't matter, but I'm going to go ahead and move it back just because that works better for me. All right, and then click outside. So that's those are done. Now don't forget, I want to do that color sort, but I don't want to do it right now when I have all of these other designs in here that could join up. It might be totally fine, but I don't want to chance it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to this first one. I'm sorry, the second tab that has just the quilting designs, and I'm going to do a utility color sort. Right now there are 20 color steps. So I'm going to do utility color sort on that second tab. Don't forget that you need to have the same results that I have here. Did we change all of those? Must have. Yes, okay. So remember, you've got to have all of these not selected and tolerance at 0, and it says it reduced it by 10. It's more than usual because remember we kept the number 5 of the quilting design. Each of those of the actual quilting part, we kept those separate so that we can change. We want it to stop so that we can change the thread color. So I'm going to click New View. Now we'll have a 3rd tab. All right, and I just want to check it and make sure it did what I think it should do. So there's our. We didn't do that. All right, I want to point out something. So when I check it, notice that this one is not included. I forgot to do the color changes for this 4th filler. And so that's why we always check our work before we close it, because now we still have this other untitled that I can go back to. So I can click on Untitled 4, I can close it. It's actually Untitled 3. I can close this and say, nope, that's not what I wanted to happen. I made a mistake. And then I can go back to Untitled 2 and I can make this change now. So I can click on this one and see I've got those default blues and oranges that I forgot to change. So I need to quickly go through those. So I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected, then go back to 4-1, click on the color. I want the same that we did before, so dark aqua for me. And then 4-2, click on the color, blaze for me. And then 4-3, the second color down is marine for me. And 4-4, click on the color, and I'm using Oriole. And then default 17 turquoise, I want that to be a different color just so that I have time to change the thread color. And we're on number 4 now, so we want the 4th design down. 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th color down. So I'm going to use Magic Mint. Again, it doesn't matter what colors, it's just so that the parts that we want to join will join and the parts we don't want will not join. All right, so that's all done. Those are all ready, and we can do our color sort now. So I'm going to go ahead and go, right now we have 20 color steps. I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort, and it's reduced it by 12 different colors. Don't forget, same settings that I have here, and click New View so that we can check it, make sure we did it right. And there's the placement for our batting, tack down for our batting, placement for the main fabric, tack down for the main fabric, and then each of the quilting designs. All right, and we're going to keep in mind the order that we did those in. All right, so that's all perfect. So, but I want to bring in those extra 2 designs, and I just didn't want that to be part of the color sort. So if I go, all right, and then once we have our quilting design, we can go back to the tab that has the included designs, the additional ones that we brought in, and you can either delete the first 4. The easiest way actually is just to click both 5 and 6, the last 2 designs. You can do that by hitting the control button to get 5 and 6, or you can go from the right over here and click and drag down to get 5 and 6, however you want to get them, but make sure that you've got both of those designs. Hit Control C to copy, and then go to your last tab, the one that's already got the color sorted designs, and say Control V like victory to paste, and you can see that they're lined up just right, perfectly, so that we can now stitch those after we do all of our quilting. So I'm going to click outside so that we can see that, and that looks great. I think that will be really fun and a little personalization for us, doing something a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to say File, Save Stitch File As, and then I'm going to name this, let's see, where am I in? I'm in my cuties because I did my cuties before I left. So I'm going to go to Falling for Autumn, and I think I'm going to go to the quilting bundle. And I'm going to say, let's see. Yep, I'm going to not put it in a folder because it's a bunch of the quilting designs. And I'm going to call it Section 2 Fillers. Oops, helps if we don't hit it with our fingernail. Let's do that again. File, Save Stitch File As, and I'm going to name it Section 2 Fillers. Section 2 Fillers. Save. Yes, I want to replace it. I hit it with my fingernail. That's why it stopped typing. All right, so that's great. My machine isn't on, or I would send it to my machine, or you can send it to a USB stick. Either way, again, this is just how to include the quilting designs in one hooping for the Section 2 filler blocks. And then if you want to add on a couple of fall designs, that is fun. Either way, totally up to you. So let's get stitching. right, so how are you doing with your goal? I want to hear about it because I've been on vacation, right? I've been on vacation. So the funny thing is I actually was pretty good on vacation, like actually probably a little more than pretty good. We worked out every single day. We went to the gym at the hotel and I ran on the treadmill. My husband did some weightlifting. So I kept up with my exercise, surprisingly. We also did one hike. We went snorkeling. We did some fun activities. Not all the fun that I thought we would do. Like I thought they had bikes there that you could rent. And I was like, oh, we got to do that. And we never ended up making time to do that. But lots of fun activities and a lot of laying around at the beach and just soaking up total serenity, total peace and relaxation. It was pretty amazing. It was an amazing trip for sure. But we also ate a lot. So I've been really, really, really good. You know, my goal is weight loss. During this entire length of this project, I am working on weight loss. And I think I was down 12.4 pounds when I left after the last block. And I actually came home and got on the scale and I lost another pound. How do you lose weight on vacation? That's crazy. I was not perfect. We actually had, so every morning there was this buffet breakfast, this amazing buffet breakfast. And my husband likes to eat. He eats all kinds of foods. I'm way more picky. I'm a super picky eater. But I love sugar. And oh my gosh, they had like this display of donuts every morning, these cute little mini donuts. They had waffles and French toast and pancakes and fruit. Oh my gosh, the pineapple in Hawaii is amazing. It's so good. And the cantaloupe there is really good. The cantaloupe in Idaho is not good. I don't know why that is. But anyway, so I ate more than I usually eat almonds and a protein shake for breakfast. And so here I am with waffles and French toast and all these foods. And so I ate, but I didn't have candy. I didn't eat after 9 p.m. I had pasta. We had pasta for dinner. But I did pretty good. I mean, considering we were on vacation, I didn't do perfectly, but I still stayed away from the sugar for the most part. So surprisingly, I lost another pound when I got back. I was really surprised about that. So I'm back to my regular schedule and working hard on my weight loss. I actually only have 3.2 pounds to go for my overall goal. But I know those last few pounds are really hard and my body's transitioning after being back from vacation. So we'll see. I don't know. But so how are you doing with your goal? I got back and I went for a hike up Table Rock. I really wanted to do that. And I did a bike ride with the club short. And oh my gosh, it was really funny. I was like, please make this ride end. It was only 18 miles and there were no hills. It was like the easiest ride ever. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is hard. And I'm like dying on this ride. So my strength is just shot after being on vacation and whatever, not cycling enough this year. I'm sure that's the big thing. But anyway, I'm working it. I'm still working it. I'm staying away from the sugar. I'm stopping eating by 9 p.m. I know Katie is finishing eating it by 6 p.m. Katie Mayo in our Cristin Creates group. She is such an inspiration. Oh my gosh. So many people are doing so great with their goals. Whatever your goal is, I want to hear, and I want to hear if you're working towards something. Like Katie's got a big hike coming up. I think that's what it was that she's working on to be able to get her weight in check for this event. And so I want to hear what that end result is. I want to hear what you're working toward, what you're doing toward your goal. Help keep me inspired because this is going to be a long project and the last few pounds are hard. Oh my gosh. And we're going to start going into fall. So anyway, I want to hear about it. How are you doing with your goal? And I don't have an embroidered shirt on today to show you. I'm actually wearing a little sundress. But I made a few shirts right before I left for vacation. And so I will wear those in the next couple days and tell you about where I got the design and where I got the shirt and all of that. So I'll share soon. But today, just a sundress. It's really hot.